Hi guys, welcome back aboard good old Athena for yet more DIY fun. Please note Athena's new spiffy looking water tank. We'll get back to that in just a few minutes. It's a special week here aboard Athena. It is Ava week. I haven't seen my fiancée Ava in a year and a half because of COVID, but on Friday she lands here in Denmark. And then we have about a month to work on Athena before we want to untie the lines and start cruising full time. On Saturday, Ava and I are going to go through the boat. We're going to find all of the projects that we want to make sure that we complete before we leave Denmark. Then we'll update the little board here behind me. The primary purpose of that exercise is to make sure we identify all of the critical to sail tasks versus the tasks that we can actually complete in Scotland and Ireland over the fall and winter. But this week is not going to be just planning and talking. There are some things I'd like to finish before Ava gets here, and I've also made some progress already this week. Martin and I finished the sliding solar panel setup for Athena's solar arch. With this setup, we'll be able to mount a total of 4 305 watt panels, with 2 of the panels being able to slide in and out. We won't be able to sail with these panels fully extended, but they'll be perfect for anchoring, out of the way and super easy to deploy. We never got to fully test the sliding solar panels before sending everything off for passivation, but I think it'll all work out. The sliding solar panels are mounted on some square tubing that's secured to some aluminum track. We may need a little help from a high-tech wooden stick to aid in the deployment of the sliding solar panels, but we'll figure that out once everything is mounted. The arch also includes a little dinghy lifting doohickey for use while anchoring or on shorter trips. On longer passages, we're going to put the dinghy up on deck, but I think this is going to be super useful just to get the dinghy out of the water when not in use. With the 4 panels deployed here in Denmark during the summer months on non-rainy days, we'll have something like 95% of our energy need covered. Once we make it further south, we should be able to generate more energy than we need for our daily needs. I still expect us to have to run the Itty Bitty Perkins genset every once in a while, for instance if we get no sun, or if we're doing particularly heavy activities like filling scuba tanks or something like that. But the sliding solar panels should reduce the number of hours we put on the genset by quite a bit. Hopefully I'll have the arch back from passivation next week so we can get it installed and take a closer look. I am very excited about that, but yeah, let's head back out into the cockpit because there was something exciting out there too. And that is of course Athena's new spiffy water tank. If you guys recall, a few weeks back I picked up the first tank, which turned out to be the wrong revision of the design, but this one should be the correct revision. The tank is going to go inside of this area of the settee. I am going to have to make some small modifications, but that's on purpose. That's just to maximize the amount of water we can carry. Let me go ahead and get all of this stuff out of the way. That's the easy part taken care of. Now there's just the heavy lifting. This thing is not exactly lightweight. I've got a few of these eyes welded in place in strategic locations to help secure the tank. Now these are going to be protruding out of the settee, but that's all in the name of fitting as much water aboard as we possibly can. And also, going off of that, these are going to be just a few millimeters too high, so I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of a modification to the plywood top of the settee. It would be awesome if I could get the tank in there in one go, because getting it out again is going to be a little bit tricky. It's heavy and it's very tight. It's time to cross our fingers, bust out the lube, and hope for the best. I forgot to take that guy into account. I need to remove a little bit more of the support for the top of the settee. So far, so good. The tank is a nice snug fit, but there are some issues. There's some tabbing down there that's preventing the tank from going up flush against the bulkhead. That's probably going to lead to an issue with the cushion. And also I had to remove the last little bit of the support for the settee top. I can easily put in place another support for the plywood, so that's no big deal. This is protruding out about 15 millimeters, and I'm afraid that's going to push the cushion out so it'll look weird. But I think I've got enough room to just cut this here and drill another hole down below it and use that for securing the tank. Drilling stainless by hand is just oodles of fun. That is a custom laser cut seal. The cool thing about this tank is that it uses the same seals as the diesel tank. So if I carry a few extra of those, I'll have spares for both. And because I know somebody's gonna ask, yes, the tank is baffled here and also way in there in the darkness. The next morning, I started out by modifying the top of the settee. I transferred the location of the inspection hatch and the tank sender unit. It turns out I need to remove about 6 millimeters of material. That is annoying, but it's the price you pay for being greedy and wanting as much water as possible. After having placed a new support for the top of the settee, the water tank was finally installed. Next up, there is a hole in the sole in the forward cabin where the old forward head used to be. I trimmed a piece of plywood to size, mixed up a little bit of thickened epoxy, and then glued and screwed the new piece in place. As you can see, we still need another piece of trim before everything is completely covered, and the door frame could do with a fresh coat of varnish, but for now, I think we're good. The freezer area in the forward cabin has been bugging me for a few months. I had all kinds of exotic ideas for what to do with this space next to the freezer, but I'm out of time, so I decided to just go with my initial simple and easy idea. After adding a few screws and some thickened epoxy, the freezer area is now finally ready for primer. Athena's chain locker drains to the bilge. I don't like that, so I decided to lay up a little bit of glass to block the drain. The plan is to have the chain locker drain directly through a hole in the side of the hull. We'll drill the hole a little bit later in this video. As my final task of the day, I wanted to prep for the installation of the faucet in the head. After much consideration and head scratching, I settled on the spot, drilled a hole, and did a quick dry fit. I then sealed the areas that are potentially going to be exposed to trapped water. And just like that, it is Thursday. Ava arrives tomorrow, and the boat is a giant mess, so I should probably fix that later. But why don't we check on Ava and see how she's doing?
Hi guys, it's Ava. I am currently in Michigan. I am one of the many child adults who moved back in with their parents because of COVID. I've been here for the past 10 months. It's been really great, especially since I've been living in LA for the past 10 years to get to spend some time with my parents. Quality time, but it's been really great. However, the past month or so, it's been a little crazy, a little hectic. My parents decided to move, so we have been painting, ripping up floors, installing floors, packing up my childhood home to move them to this current home. On top of that, packing all of my things to go to Denmark, which I leave very, very soon. And no one tells you how difficult it is to pack up all of your belongings into duffel bags, to fly across the world, and to move onto a 38-foot sailboat. The real feat is going to be getting all of these and my entire family to the airport to say goodbye, including this beaut. It's a box from Defender, and it holds our brand new Magma Grill. This was kind of like a last-minute purchase. Defender was having a sale, and Magma Grills are double, if not more, in Denmark and the UK. So we thought, what the heck? Let's throw in a grill. It's not like I have a bunch of other stuff to bring. Now the moment of truth, if it'll all fit. 5 bags in, 1 to go. We did it. All the bags made it in. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Have this to put in the car.
Oh no. We still have the carry-on. Okay, now everything's in.
No crying.
I just checked my luggage with minimal drama, said goodbye to my parents, and now I'm off to go find my gate. Go see Mads.
While Ava was hurling through the air at 40,000 feet, I did yet more tidying up. As soon as the genset is installed and the lithium cells are connected, we won't have to keep moving stuff around so much. After a bit of glorious dust removal, as well as a quick cleaning for the car, and right before leaving for the airport to pick up Ava, I applied primer in the freezer area. Look who I found at the airport!
Hi guys!
There is a small technical challenge, and that's the fact that we don't have a mic for the camera yet. We just have this one lavalier mic, so we can't really wear a mic, both of us, at the same time right now. So yeah, this is gonna be a little bit weird.
So I'll be talking like this.
Yeah. See, Ava's been practicing her box opening skills. See, once you start...
Well, this is no knife to be opening up a box with, okay?
It's the one I use in every episode. Okay, once you do it, you're committed, so you gotta go through, right?
Okay.
Even if it fails.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, all of my socks and one shoe.
But why is there only one shoe?
Because I couldn't find the other shoe, and my mom was like, you better pack that one shoe because it's probably in your suitcase somewhere. So this is the mystery shoe.
As fascinating as Ava's socks are, that's
These are good socks.
not really what we wanted to show you. Inside of this box is our new grill. So let's get the socks out of here and dig into this box. Ooh! Now, as Ava might have mentioned, this thing was on sale. I've seen these in Europe for around 900 euros. We got this in the US for 350 bucks. This is the Newport version, but it's the new version, the infrared version. The older versions of the Magma Grills, they do, at least according to what I've read online, have a little bit of a reputation for getting blown out in this gust of wind. These, the new models, should be better at handling that. This thing looks freaking amazing, but Ava doesn't want to take it out of the box yet because it'll become dusty.
Like everything else on this boat.
Ava also brought some accessories, this light for the grill and a mount. We're going to be mounting this to the arch, but it can't mount directly to the arch. We need to build some kind of little grill holding thingy, but we'll get back to that and the grill in one of the upcoming videos. Ava's a little bit jet lagged. She just got here. So our big goal for today is just to list all of the projects we're going to be working on for the next month. Those are going to be on little post-it notes. They're going to go up on this board that I've completely forgotten to update for a really long time. But yeah, that'll give you guys a little bit of a way of keeping track of the progress. Welcome to the much improved to-do board. There's some stuff up here that's grouped here. This is all weather dependent stuff, so we'll have to fit that in when we can. You might see some clusters of tasks. Those are all grouped by activity or dependency. So for instance, it doesn't make sense to install the generator before we've got the software and the controller figured out. I'll let my lovely assistant run through the tasks here, and then I'll give you a quick 10-second explanation of each of the tasks.
Install and configure autopilot.
That task involves bolting this to a bulkhead, connecting it to this guy, the tiller arm that's connected to the rudder stock, and also installing and configuring the brain box for the autopilot.
Install and configure alternator.
The whole high output alternator debacle has been going on for a while, but in the next couple of weeks, one way or the other, we are going to find a solution. And if the solution is to bolt something on the main engine, well, we want to do that before we leave.
Hook up, configure, and test BMS for the 24-volt system, and also hook up the 12-volt system.
Athena's 7.9 kilowatt hours worth of lithium batteries are hiding underneath the bunk here. Somewhere here aboard Athena in a box is the BMS, and just a few days ago I got the last cables we need to connect everything. So we need to do that. That's going to be for the 24-volt system. We also need a 12-volt system for instance, the head and a few other doohickeys. We're going to do that by placing a somewhat smallish lead-acid battery underneath the seat here, and then have a DC to DC charger charge that from the 24-volt system.
Secure diesel tank and secure water tank.
Way back in there is Athena's day tank. That's where all of the consumers are hooked up to, and the back of that is not properly secured yet, so we need to make sure that that's sorted.
The next one is engine access.
We can access the sides of the engine through there, and there's another opening inside of the technical compartment, but to access the front of it, well, we have to loosen 2 screws, which is not ideal. The thing is, these latches here are broken, so I used some screws to just hold everything in place temporarily, but this is not going to be quick to get access to in case we need to, so yeah, we need to find some latches that work and pop those on there.
The next one's a big one. Drill holes for cables in the arch, polish arch and pulpit, mount arch and pulpit, mount the tow rail, install solar panels on the arch.
I think we're going to pick up the arch from passivation on Tuesday. When you get it back from that, the surface is kind of matte, so to bring back the shine, we have to do a little bit more polishing. Then of course we have to install the thing here on the boat, pop the solar panels on there. This is quite a big task.
Up next is mount pot holder and rerun wiring in the stove.
Underneath here is Athena's custom-built gimbaled induction cooktop and electric oven. There's some wiring in there I need to rerun, and I've also made a pot holder that we're going to bolt on the top here.
Next is hook up second diesel tank.
Inside of what we refer to as the kitchen island here is a fridge, but underneath the fridge is a 200-liter diesel tank. and that's not really connected to anything. So we need to do that to be able to pump diesel into it.
This next one I'm really excited to be done with. Well, I'm excited to be done with all of them, but this one is drawer fronts.
In here in the head, we need drawer fronts for those drawers, a cabinet door for this. We need a cabinet door for this area over the settee, a couple more for the freezer area, and a giant pile of drawer fronts for all of these wonderful drawers.
Up next are a couple of tasks for the main engine.
The sail drive is hiding here behind the engine. Now to the sail drive and to the engine are two cables coming from the pedestal up in the cockpit. When bringing Athena home from Scotland, one of those cables got loose, which meant we couldn't reverse, I think it was, maybe it was accelerate, or one of the cables came loose, and that was not really the best experience. So I just want to make absolutely sure that those cables are very, very well attached.
Software for Mr. Jenny and install Mr. Jenny.
The Itty Bitty Perkins is good to go, with the exception of getting some software put on a controller to actually control the thing. For that, we need a little bit of help from Martin. But once that is sorted, then we can go ahead and install the genset in the technical compartment.
The next batch has to do with pressurized water, so we have to hook up the water tank, install the water heater, and another one I'm excited about, hook up the washing machine.
There's a little bit of a dependency situation here because the water heater is going to go in front of some of the bolts for the arch. So we need to install the arch before we can install the water heater. But once all of that is sorted, then we need to install the pressurized water pump, the accumulator tank, run a bit of plumbing, and then that should be sorted. And we're going to order all of the bits and pieces tomorrow.
Then we have headliner in the saloon and head, trim for the head, and door for the head.
As you can see, we've got some headliner over here. We don't have any over here. We also don't have any in the head. We need a door for the head. We also need some trim for the entrance into the shower.
Another task for the head is to add ventilation.
The plan is to have active ventilation up here, maybe one of those 10 centimeter doohickeys that will suck air from the shower and head area and pump it out the back of the boat.
Down here we have table at settee, and as you can see, these two both have little pink squares on them, and that means that we don't technically need them to sail, but we would like to finish them before we go.
The table for settee task involves building, well, a table in this area. We have not figured out what we want to build. Maybe we'll have time before we leave. Maybe we won't.
These two involve new countertops for the kitchen island and installing the hinges, and also a countertop for the freezer.
The countertop on the kitchen island is going to lift up and out of the way. That's what's going to give us access to the fridge. We have those hinges, we need to mount those, we need to pick up some new countertop because this has been my work surface for the last year and a half. And then, as requested by my future wife, the countertop in here is going to match the countertop on the kitchen island.
And before we leave, we want to make sure we clean out the boat, sell the car, and clean out the workshop. Everything in this rectangle is weather dependent. We have to trim standing rigging, install main sheet wench, install rope clutches in the cockpit, non-skid the deck and the cockpit, figure out dinghy location, rebed chain plates, and I also have to learn what all this stuff is.
Oh, it looks like Ava snuck in a task.
Whew, we got a lot of work to do.
Yep, I think we can all agree that's correct. Hopefully we can get most of this stuff sorted before we want to leave. I'm crossing my fingers, but that is a lot of work. Our plan is to drive down and pick up Athena's new cushions on Monday.
Exciting.
Very exciting. And then on Tuesday, hopefully we can pick up the arch. We might be able to get that polished and installed next week. If not, well, then we've got plenty of other stuff to work on. So yeah, we hope to see all you guys back here aboard Athena next week for yet more DIY fun. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below, and don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, please
Leave a like.
see you.